Hello. Today we're going to look at how cause and effect is expressed in texts. We're going to focus on the language of cause and effect in this screencast. So let's take a look together. First of all, one of the most important things when you're reading is to pay attention to the language of cause and effect. An important part of that language is to notice the nouns. When we see a noun that says, hey, there's a cause here, hey, there's an effect here, that is a signal for us to pay attention. It's often a good idea to underline or circle or highlight these words, because these words help us show cause and effect relationships. They're words like cause, connection, consequence, effect, factor, impact, influence, origin, outcome, reason, relationship, result. These are words we need to pay attention to. Let's look at a few words in sentences. We have to pay attention to these words because they help us see what's going on. So if we look at the first example, the cause of the floods was the heavy rains. So we have to first of all think about what was our cause, what was the effect. And it doesn't always follow in the order of the words in the sentence. The cause of the floods. So that tells us the floods were the effect. What caused them? Heavy rains. So how do we check ourselves? We can stop and make this logical. Heavy rains caused the floods. And that's more logical than floods caused the heavy rains. Let's take a look at the next example. Smoking is a major factor for heart disease. Sometimes it's easier to think about what the final effect was. And if the final effect is heart disease, we can ask ourselves, what caused it? Smoking. Smoking causes heart disease. Does that make sense? Then you've got it. Let's look at another example. There is a beneficial impact on our health from exercise. So we again have to stop and say, what is our effect? What is our cause? And often it's easier to look for the effect. So health, a beneficial impact on our health. And what causes that? Exercise. We also have to pay attention to verbs and verb phrases. The actions, to affect, to attribute to be associated with, be responsible for, to blame, to bring about, to cause, to contribute, to create, to force, to give rise to lead to play a part in, produce, to result from, to result in. Again, they help us see cause and effect. Let's see how verbs help us see that in sentences. So if we look at the first one again, the first thing we want to find out is what is our cause, what is our effect. A change in diet can bring about changes in our health. So what is the effect? Changes in our health. What causes it? A change in diet. And what's our verb? Bring about. And we can look and say, a change in diet can cause changes in our health. So we see the relationship. The company is attributing the decrease in sales to the economy. So we have to look and say, what's the effect? Decrease in sales. What caused it? The economy. And the company is saying, they're saying the economy caused the decrease in sales. We have to pay attention also to expressions that show cause and effect. Expressions such as a result of, and then we have a cause and the effect. Because of the cause and then the effect. Due to the cause and effect. On account of something happened. Thanks to something else happened. In order to this will be our effect. So we can look here. On account of bad weather, the flight was delayed. What was the cause? Bad weather. What happened? The result? The flight was delayed. Due to the weather, the flight was canceled. And we can see how these expressions usually come before a cause. Sometimes these expressions will be in a sentence, as in the previous slide, or sometimes they can connect two sentences. As a result, consequently, for this reason, hence, therefore, thus. So we have two sentences. The weather was bad. That's our cause. What was the effect? The flight was delayed. And we can connect these two sentences or connect these two ideas by using an expression or a word like consequently, as a result, hence, therefore, helping us see the connection between the two sentences. Another thing that we have to pay attention to are what we call patterns of cause and effect. Sometimes there's one cause, one effect. For example, I dropped the glass so it broke. Very clear cause, a very clear effect. But life usually isn't quite that simple. Sometimes we have one cause and two effects, or perhaps even more. The rainstorm, the cause, caused flooding and power failures, two effects from one cause. Or we could have two causes and one effect. The flooding and the power failures forced the schools to be closed. So if we look here, the rainstorm caused flooding and power failures. As a result of that, the flooding and the power failures forced the schools to be closed. So basically we have, like here, a chain effect. A cause, an effect, which becomes a cause and another effect. Let's go back. Rainstorm caused flooding and power failures. The flooding and power failures caused the schools to be closed. For example, here, I forgot to set the alarm. Cause. What happened? I woke up late. And what happened because I woke up late? I was late for work. So pay attention to the connections and the chains that often appear when we talk about cause and effect. So, remember, when you read, look for the markers, the verbs, the nouns, the expressions of cause and effect, highlight them or underline them, and then begin to look for the process or the chain or the effects of one or more actions. So, you're ready to pay attention and to look for and find those cause and effect relationships in texts.